Well, just to be clear, Minister, when the Cherry Tree Lane incident occurred, we had put up a $25 million reward fund. We have increased that reward fund to $30 million. That fund has been repurposed to deal with any of these incidents that occur, any of these multiple victim violent incidents that occur. Any resident, any citizen, anyone who has any information that is valuable to us in leading to the arrest or giving us information that would lead to the degrading of the gangs, that information would be obviously treated with the care to protect your identity and your security, but you can also benefit from a reward from this fund. So if you have information, let us know. Please tell us.
My viewers and my subscribers, I want to ask you a question. I want you to answer me fairly. Who realize say only some mass shooting site or some shooting site and journalists turn up on? Who realize say when the mass shooting go on down at Clarendon, Cherry Tree Clarendon, and journalists reach down there the next morning and him hayan and him say war against the gangs, war against the gangs, and then him put up a $25 million reward, not 1 million, $25 million reward for any information on any of the shooters them. Then a mass shooting go on, up a send catching, him no turn up this because too much spotlight never depend on one day. Up a Christopher Martin grandmother shooting. A next mass shooting go on over there in Westmoreland. Him no go over there. And a whole heap of other mass shooting go on apart from those. And journalists only turn up at one more. Now this mass shooting happen. And journalists find himself there and say him a give out a $30 million reward for any information on any of those shooters. And journalists, my question to you is, why you only turn up at some place and the only place where you turn up is where the camera, the flash all about? Is it the JLP doing these mass shooting for you go look sorry for? Or what? Because I can't understand this, Why you always come up with such a big sum of money for any information linking to any of these shooters? When you say you track down everybody, so you're supposed to can't catch anybody where I do these mass shooting. Why you never turn up the other day when the little girl get gripped by 7 other boys? Why you never turn up when the teacher that they took away and can go over Clarendon go analyze her? Why you never turn up for the family? Why you never turn up for countless other females and males and children that lose them 3 points by the hands of criminals? Why you never turn up for Donaldson? Why you never put up a big sum of money for anybody with information on Donaldson or Jasmine Dean? What? It is because you're not going to gain a political score off of those? Why? Andrew Wallace, me think say the labor right them I do all of this. Me think so. Me think the labor right them I do all of this. Me not put my mouth a ground and talk. But people, we have the full video of a play with Andrew Wallace and the mass shooting site. Him, I look vote. Bless up to my viewers and my subscribers them. May hope everybody having a blessed and a wonderful evening. Now my viewers and my subscribers, remember, in everything you do, always put God first. In every or any situation, just always remember to call upon God. Always remember to pray, because a prayer day keep the devil away. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, we have a lot coming up inside this update, including Mark Golding press conference with the PNP them. You understand what I say? Plus whole heap of other information. Vendors leak out for Andrew Holiness, tell him say them tired of him promises and him give out handout. Them no want that. Them no want that. But people, we have a lot coming up in this update, so you definitely don't want to miss none. Remember to leave a like on this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and turn on the post notification bell for new content. Alright? We soon forward. Make we run the intro and forward. Alright? Remember, like up the video. So welcome back to my viewers and my subscribers them. Big up to all of my viewers, big up to all of my subscribers them. We continually support the channel and help the channel to grow. Now, remember to leave a like on this video. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if it's a new viewers, first time on my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notification bell so whenever we drop new content, you will be first to be notified. Share the content with a friend, a family, a loved one. Share it on your social platform. And viewers, subscribers, remember, we are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, now is the right time for you to do so. Let us get to 100,000 subscribers before the ending of December. Alright? Make a ring in the new year with 100,000 subscribers, people. Alright, people? Now, I want to ask this question again. Why on the conference, the Jamaican Labour Party 81 annual conference, nobody no address nothing about crime? Why them not speak about the crime where they affect Jamaica? Why Andrew Wallace never address the situation about the crime we are plague Jamaica? Why him only speak about certain things and show word for Mark Golding and call Mark Golding white man, but yet still they have not addressed the main situation we are plague our beautiful island? Why? Is it that Andrew Wallace are not trying to stop crime and violence in our country? Because at the end of the day, that shouldn't be one of the main target going into that conference. But we are yet to hear anyone speak about the crime and the violence we are plagued with beautiful island. Even the security minister go up there. And all him go up there go do a chat pure crap. Because all know as a security minister, him don't address the crime and the violence we are plagued with beautiful island. These people do not care a dime about Jamaica. Them not care about the crime and the violence we are plagued with country. Them not care about the people them we are get unalive and the family them we have to feel the pain. Or else they would have a plan. They would have come up with a plan how to curb the crime and the violence in our country. Andrew Holiness, you speak about JPS, which you make that promise over and over and over again. You're not tired of make that promise there. But yet still, you cannot assure the people of Jamaica that you will cut down the crime and the violence in our country. Andrew Holiness, time coming up. Time coming up. You not speak nothing about education, you know. You not talk about education, none at all, you know. But you can speak about Mark Golding and the PNP. You not care about education. You not care about the crime and the violence that plague our country. You not care about the hotel workers them, even though you speak on the matter. You do not said. You did not say the hotel managers and the hotel owners should take these workers off contract. After how much years, these people still have to be on contract. The least amount of time these people should be on contract is 3 months. And these people are filled up on contract all the day of them life. That is wickedness and joyless. That is wickedness. And then when you turn around and talk about you care about the people, look how long Mark Golding asked you to make sure that these people take the workers them from off contract. Stop from abuse our people. But you care zero. And then you talk about, I care about the hotel workers and I support them with striking. You don't support them because you don't mind you couldn't send police to lock them up. Crime and violence are play with country. The youths them now learn. And the hotel workers them now get paid. But people, check out this video.
In this multiple victim violent incident. We are very disturbed by this, but I invite Jamaica and the press who are here with us to recall that a few weeks ago we had a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister to discuss what we saw as an emerging trend in violence and in particular homicides in Jamaica. This is as a result, we theorize, from our very effective approach in neutralizing, eradicating, and in many respects disbanding gangs in Jamaica. We have moved from over 300 documented gangs to now just under 180, and we continue to degrade and eradicate. So we take careful note of the change in the nature of homicides in Jamaica. And though it is not yet the majority of homicides, where the homicides are committed in what we are describing as multiple victim violent incidents, rather than the term mass murder, which we're seeing generally used, which connotes a different kind of activity. We are still very much concerned that it is a growing profile in the homicides that are being committed. These homicides, these murders are being committed essentially by gangs. Now, whilst the police have not definitively concluded in this specific instance that it is a gang-related matter, from what we are seeing so far, it is highly likely that it is a gang-related matter. The challenge, of course, is that the communities that are involved may not necessarily identify the players as being involved in a gang, because by and large, the community members would not be necessarily aware of the intricacies and details as to how these gangs operate. But one thing we can be certain of is that gangs have access to weapons. They acquire them, they stockpile them, and they distribute them. They exercise control over them, and they use them to exercise control over territory. They use them to conduct illegal activities such as extortion, trafficking, and other kinds of illegal activities. And ultimately, they use them to inflict harm, violence, and ultimately death in the pursuit of their gang activities. Whether it is reprisals, whether it is robbery, whether it is extortion, whether it is protection, they use armed violence to exercise control and influence over geographical areas. And they use them ultimately to spread fear. One thing that would have come out of this is an incredible fear in the communities that adjoin this area. It is a natural response for 5 persons to die within less than 15 minutes of each incident occurring. And the nature of how it happened. This is a bar with an outdoor area for entertainment. Jamaicans all over, we gather, we sit around a domino table, we have fun. You know, this is how we socialize. And for someone or a group of persons to believe that it is, okay to just walk up onto the street side and shoot innocent persons from all intents and purposes so far.
All I can tell my Jamaican people, them say, do not be fooled by this man. This man is a con artist, a general, a dictator, and a controlling freak. Do not be misled by Andrew Wallace and his administration. Mumalashi, aka Everal Warmington, disrespect Mark Golin and call Mark Golin racist name. And I'll know I don't hear Andrew Wallace come out and condemn that. Andrew Wallace, you know mean Jamaica people no good. I'm gonna stop say that. But people, Mark Golin press conference was hot today.
JLP's attempts to use my color as a political battering ram smacks of desperation on their part. It is unprecedented. I don't think any political leader has faced what I have been facing in this regard. And it is because they see that this tide has turned against them. And the people of Jamaica are fed up with them, the dishonesty, the lack of integrity, and a government which pursues policies that don't benefit the people in a direct way. So people have lost hope. People want change. And I suppose I'm the embodiment of that as the leader of the opposition. And therefore, they're trying to attack me. And in a sense, I'm flattered that all they can really attack me on is the color of my skin. I am somebody who grew up here. My wife is an African Jamaican, beautiful woman. And my children are born in Jamaica. And I'm a proud Jamaican citizen. So I think that this is a sad turn of events. And I'm very disappointed in the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party that they tacitly encourage this kind of behavior, because to me it indicates a lack of principle on their part. And Jamaica's part of the family of nations, We live in a world which is very connected. And other countries, other races of people are looking on and saying, how is it that the government of Jamaica is allowing a junior minister or a former minister, 2 MPs, to be using racial taunts and slurs as a source of attacking a political opponent. It's very bad form, and it's unfortunate for Jamaica, and it really needs to stop. The critical task of making the bureaucracy more efficient and less costly to users of government services is one which needs continuous attention. The devil is in the details. The public sector operates a rule-based system, so changes in processes to bring improved efficiency generally involve changes to laws, rules, and regulations which govern those processes. Many of those processes have not changed with the times and are outdated and no longer fit for purpose. Fixing them takes hard, focused effort and great attention to detail. The last PNP government, in just 4 years of office, paid significant attention to this. We designed the super form to enable businesses to be registered and companies to be incorporated in a single application that resulted in the business or company not only having registration and incorporation, but also all the other required business registrations, TRN, NIS, GCT, etc., and a 6-month startup tax compliance certificate to get their businesses up and running, all in a single process through the Companies Office of Jamaica. The PNP government also passed the Security Interests in Personal Property Act to provide a modern framework for secured lending with a web-based registration system for registering security over collateral and expanding the types of assets and property that borrowers can use as collateral to include agricultural produce, and intellectual property and other types of property that previously were excluded from secured lending. We also passed the Insolvency Act to modernize the laws governing insolvent businesses, with a new emphasis on giving them breathing space with their creditors to try to restructure and get out of financial difficulties. We passed the Special Economic Zones Act to provide a modern incentive regime for investment zones to drive the economy. And we passed the Public Procurement Act to streamline the rules governing the use of government's purchasing power, including provision for small businesses and other marginalized groups to get special treatment to give them a leg up in business. All of these were the result of consistent effort. And in 2014, the World Bank reported that Jamaica had the highest ranking in the Caribbean on the ease of doing business, having implemented the most reforms in Latin America and the Caribbean. In contrast, the current government's performance over the last 9 years has been dismal. In their 2 terms, they have done virtually nothing to improve the efficiency of the bureaucracy and the ease of doing business in Jamaica. They have passed no transformational legislation to improve efficiency of the bureaucracy, and they've done almost nothing to improve the ease of doing business. Therefore, when the Prime Minister on Sunday promised to make Jamaica's bureaucracy modern, user-friendly, and efficient, it is yet another empty promise, similar to his 2016 promises to have fixed election dates put in the Constitution and to hold a grand referendum to settle what he called outstanding national issues within his first 100 days in office. His promise on Sunday rings hollow, like the now defunct Economic Growth Council and the spectacular failure in delivering 5% annual economic growth after 4 years, which has not happened. The truth is that their very poor track record shows that this government does not have the capacity to deliver the reforms required to achieve an efficient bureaucracy. And this is not a task that private sector bigwigs can be of much assistance with. The PNP's record of legislative capability, innovation, and nimbleness is what is needed to resume the process of making a bloated and cumbersome bureaucracy work for ordinary Jamaicans and Jamaican businesses. We will deliver for Jamaica. Aspire, as his new program is called, is just another PR exercise. It does not inspire and can only expire. The JLP government will continue to fail the people. Furthermore, this is a government without credibility to back up promises. 8 of their members of parliament, including the Prime Minister himself, are under investigation for the corruption offense of illicit enrichment. It is a blot on Jamaica's international image and reputation. No Prime Minister can lead the country with credibility when he remains under such a cloud when it comes to his own financial integrity. The promised reduction of the rate of general consumption tax on electricity will not impact the majority of JPS customers who consume less than 150 kilowatt hours per month of electricity and already benefit from the tax exemption introduced by the Portia Simpson Miller administration. In fact, the greater savings from the tax rate reduction will accrue to wealthier customers who consume more electricity. What is needed is strong and capable leadership to drive down electricity costs in Jamaica through a transformation of the energy sector. The PNP has a plan to achieve this and a shadow minister with a track record of achieving it. We will bring modern legislation as we've done before and massive investment to the energy sector, and for that our record speaks for itself. The meager break in market fees for craft vendors does not address their plight. They want a level playing field for doing business. The craft markets are in a terrible state, turning off visitors, and nothing is being done to encourage tourists to visit the craft markets so that craft vendors can make money. The People's National Party will ensure that government doesn't shirk its responsibility to make the tourism industry benefit our craft vendors and other locally owned businesses. And the last thing I will say at this point is that the so-called reverse income tax credit is to be turned into a $20,000 money giveaway. It is a blatant, run-with-it, vote-buying scheme for the next election, and is taking place at a time when the economy is contracting and experiencing negative economic growth. However, the recent by-elections in Morant Bay and Annan Town show that the Jamaican people are not for sale and are determined to have a change of government. Thank you.
All I can say is that Mark Golding faced the most disrespect from these people. The Jamaican Labour Party people have no respect, from the supporters to the Member of Parliament to the Prime Minister to the Prime Minister's wife all of them are so disrespectful and desperate for power. All of them are so disrespectful and desperate for power. But listen, Mark Golding, we stand with you. We say power. We say change are coming. And guess what? Andrew Holiness, your time come. Remember that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I watched the conference on Sunday in two capacities. First, I watched as the General Secretary of the People's National Party, and of course I watched in my capacity as the spokesperson for agriculture, fisheries and rural development. And I will have some remarks in both capacities. One of the truest measures to determine good management of production and supply of any crop is the relative stability of prices on a weekly and monthly basis within any given year. The government's management of a flagship program to reduce onion imports through its import substitution initiative provides the clearest indicator of its management inability. Minister Green speaks glibly about the establishment of storage facilities, and yet farmers suffered losses earlier this year when production exceeded the monthly requirement of 850,000 kilograms. And they had no appropriate storage facilities, prices were depressed, and inadequate storage facilities resulted in crop deterioration and resultant losses. Recall the cries of the farmers in his constituency of Southwest St. Elizabeth that had to discard of their onions. The supply management of onions has had a significant impact on the consuming public. Recall the lamentations of the consuming public last year and the year before, when prices unbelievably reached over $1,000 per kilogram. This should not happen with the application of good management. The total consumption on a yearly basis is known, so it's relatively easy to determine the quantity to be imported without displacing whatever local production exists at any given time in the production cycle. Over the last 5 years, 2019 to 2023, the average annual prices moved from $448 per kilogram to $740 per kilogram, an increase of 65%, or an average yearly increase of 13%, which is way above the annual inflation rate. This can neither be good stewardship of a flagship program nor purposeful management of the variables that affect the average consumers. The management of imported supplies was equally inadequate. The price of imported onions moved from an annual average of $468 per kilogram in 2019 to $783 in 2023. an outturn of 67% over the period and a yearly average of 13.5%. Again, significantly above the annual inflation rate. This cannot be good management and exposes Minister Green's assertion of a build-out of appropriate facilities is hollow. Another product falling under the flagship import substitution program has had no better management. In 2014, the past PNP administration was able to achieve 90% production of Irish potatoes. And now the JLP has reversed those achievements to levels below 70%. In 2023, 6,852,000 kilograms of Irish potatoes was imported, representing a 43% increase over 2022 figure of 4.7 million. This requires a special audit to determine why the efforts of the ministry are failing rather than providing the expected results. When we look at polling in the country, one of the topical issues is cost of living. The hollowed attempts that were made on Sunday does not address the cost of living crisis. If you were to go to Megamart, a pound of lettuce, $814. A pound of cabbage, $380. A pound of Irish, $400. A pound of carrots, $550. A pound of red pepper, $900. A pound of sweet pepper, $600. I was tempted today to bring a basket to repeat what the Prime Minister did when he said what could hold in a basket for $10,000. But when I checked, the price of the basket was more than the $10,000, so I aborted the mission. When I look at what my electricity bill is, my bill came to $15,500. I look at how much GCT I'm paying, and it is $993. The 53% saving that I will get on a monthly basis is $547 Jamaican for the month. $547 Jamaican. It is the same as a pound of carrot at Losushan. 1 pound of carrot is what the government is offering to me as a productive citizen as an attempt to say that they are cushioning the crisis. Agriculture currently only contributes about 9% of the gross domestic product, even though agriculture employs over 250,000 persons are registered as farmers. It is the largest employer of labor, but it is not making the commensurate contribution to the gross domestic product of the country. We have had an increase in our food importation bill. In 2016, when this government took office, food importation was at $838 million US dollars. Last year, it went up to $1.4 billion US dollars, an increase of 75% under this administration. What they're doing is that they're importing more, they're producing less. By any metric, the Minister of Agriculture may be very good at promoting parties, but when it comes on to agriculture, he is a failure. If you want to say you like him, then say that. But an assessment of his stewardship in agriculture is that of failure. The agro-parks, go and visit. I am sure investigative journalism is not dead. Go and visit any agro-park you would like, and you will find idle lands inside of those agro-parks. You understand why production is down. He spoke about putting land titles into the hands of persons. This administration has taken some of the most arable lands with the infrastructure in Bernard Lodge and given it for housing purposes. They have caused less arable lands to be under production by their own doing. In relation to irrigation, only 12% of the arable lands in Jamaica currently have irrigation. He speaks about the irrigation project in St. Elizabeth, which is not a brainchild of his. I suspect that he's trying to be like the Prime Minister and try to father a road that he did not conceive when they named the highway after former Prime Minister Edward Seaga, even though he opposed its construction. It is in keeping with their nature. After 9 years and 8 members of Parliament being investigated for illicit enrichment, they now say to the public, it is your turn. An admission that the first 2 terms were for them and their cronies. The Prime Minister says his MPs are not performing after 300% increase, and now they want to say, give them another term. What can go so? Term limits. This Prime Minister lobbied for 2 terms as the limit for a Prime Minister. Now he's campaigning for a 3rd term. We will not have it. 9 years of bad roads. This government cut out the road maintenance fund. So when you drive on any road in Jamaica, you see cars on the side. They are not just parked there. They have suffered damage to their cars. Punctures. I myself had 2 punctures on one side of the vehicle in Holland Bamboo. The roads in Jamaica, as admitted by all of the speakers at the Labour Party conference, they are in a terrible condition. And so I finish with the words of the chairman of the Labour Party. They inside the JLP know that time come for change. Thank you very much.
The PNP back in 2012, heading on up into 2016, had a social water mechanism within the NWC where pensioners and those that are on path would pay a certain percentage, a certain amount. I think it was $500 at the time it was capped. This was removed from the NWC. And I'm asking here, if it was removed, what are the reasons why it was removed? Our teachers, firemen, police, farmers, nurses, taxi drivers, and even some of the current pensioners will not see any benefit from what was announced on Sunday. If you really want to help the customers of the NWC or the citizens of Jamaica who are faced with hardship, first thing you'd want to do is to cap it or create a flat rate for the 3,000 gallons that the citizens use monthly. Another thing, again, you pay dollar for dollar in terms of sewage and water. You could cut back, you could have made an announcement. If you really wanted to help those that are suffering, you could reduce the sewage by anywhere between 25 and 50%. We agree that after 9 years, there's no prosperity and there's hardship on the land. But in this party, we agree to help the poor, help the pensioners, and all the other stakeholders. But it must be met with a clear policy framework, research, consultation, board approval, management execution that speaks to a clear vision for the NWC. Water is too important to the people of this country to be taken or used as a political football in an election season. Thank you.